My name is Detective Justin Roybal. I'm with the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department Ghost Unit. Today we're going to be talking about human trafficking, what it is, some of the current trends, some of the warning signs that you should be aware of, and how to report it. Human trafficking can mean a few different things. Right now the hot topic is human smuggling, labor trafficking, with all the increased activity at the border. My unit, we focus on something that's widely underreported, something that you don't hear about very often, and that's domestic minor sex trafficking. So it's the forcing of a juvenile to engage in prostitution. One of the most common traits that we see in victims is that they've been out of school likely for a significant period of time. Some of them missed months, potentially years of classroom time. And I think within the last year, with COVID being a concern and the extended school closures, they've been out of this structured, positive environment. They're not getting the peer support, they're not getting their guidance from the teachers, and that just makes them a larger target for traffickers. It allows them to kind of coast under the radar much easier. Some of the other traits that we see with victims is not necessarily on the surface level. A lot of them have had significant trauma. They've had a lack of parental involvement. They're likely in and out of the foster care system. So those things you're not gonna see those at the surface level. They're much harder to identify. But if you're seeing things like chronic runaway activity, chronic drug use, potential homelessness, couch surfing, that's when we need to be asking more questions and reporting it to the police. Human trafficking is widely underreported because the victims simply don't identify as victims. Not only is this trauma that they're enduring really, really hard to speak about, it's even harder to speak about it with a police officer. Our unit typically tries to take a trauma-informed, victim-centered approach, and we focus on building long-term rapport. The idea being, if these kids are ever victims of a crime, they feel comfortable disclosing that to law enforcement. And hopefully, long-term, that can help us address some of the negative perceptions of law enforcement. If you're having an emergency, dial 911. If you think you may know somebody who's a victim of human trafficking, contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, CYFD by dialing #SAFE from a cell phone, or make a police report so we can follow up.
My name is Sergeant Kyle Woods, and I'm with the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department Ghost Unit. This work is only possible because of the dedicated work of the men and women across state and federal law enforcement, the prosecuting attorney offices, the service providers within New Mexico and across the U.S., and we're particularly grateful for our partnership with the New Mexico Attorney General's Office and the FBI in their continued fight against child exploitation and human trafficking.